Hi James, thank you very much for coming in today. I'm sorry that Whitley couldn't make it, but hopefully we'll catch up with her next week. And I know that you only have 15 minutes, so we're going to be quite brief with this today. Just need to know, has anything changed since last we met?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, lovely. This is your statement of advice that I'm going to get you to take with you and show Whitley.
Cool.
Let's have a look at our agenda. So I'm going to go through Whitley's goals and recommendations, then we'll go through your goals and our recommendations, and then we'll have a look at next steps. Okay? So I'm going to quickly go through Whitley's recommendations. Here we're just recommending that you pop through that Russell Super into the BT Super for Life. We've had a look at the investment mixes and they do match her risk profile, so we're happy for her to keep these two. We are keeping them because of the insurances as well. But moving this into BT, the Russell Super, we're actually saving $100 a year. There is an exit fee of $96, but when the first year covers that, and then from then on it's all gravy. Okay. Then we've also mentioned here too for Whitley that there's a superannuation salary sacrifice plan that we'd like her to put into place, but that's not until after she goes back to work after maternity leave, and it shows that she will actually increase her overall wealth by over $1,000 a year just by salary sacrifice and $200 each fortnight. This is the thing that applies to both of you. You both said you wanted a fund of $10,000 as an emergency fund for the baby. So that's $5,000 each. Now I've got these offset accounts that reduce Whitley's mortgage payments, interest payments with Macquarie. So we're recommending she use this one that has $1,500 in it already, and get either transfer the money into a new account with your name on it, or to add your name onto this account, and then she just tops that up with $437.50 a month instead of paying the $500 extra onto her mortgage just while she's on maternity leave, just to get getting ready for the baby. The majority of the money that makes up the $500 will actually go towards paying for the insurance that we're recommending. Another goal that she had was to do some renovations, and that's something a savings plan will put together after she goes back to work as well. Okay. Investment property is something that was quite important to as well, whether she should keep it or whether she should sell it. We recommend she keeps it for the moment. As you can see though, that with that mortgage as well, her living expenses are actually greater than her income. But we're recommending that she sells it when she goes into maternity leave as a source of income, because there will be a gain of up to $200. We think after expenses and the mortgage has been repaid, and she will get a 50% discount as well, paying tax on that.
Yeah. Why is there a 50% discount?
Because she's owned the property for more than 12 months, she automatically gets a 50% discount on tax.
Okay.
So on the amount. So basically, she made $200,000. She only has to pay tax on $100,000, and they've done that because of inflation. To take that into account. So what we're recommending here is $100,000 will go over to him, pay tax on, and that's part of Whitley's income, and that includes the income from yourself, the rental payments. That shows now that her living expenses will be reduced dramatically without that investment property anymore. And down here you'll see we've got this other $100,000, we've split that, and we put $50,000 into an investment bond.
What's an investment bond?
So the investment bond, and this is something we're thinking of doing for you as well in the next couple of years. For people who are on high incomes, you can only put a certain amount into superannuation, and at a low concessional rate of 15% tax. So you can only put $27,500 a year, and a lot of that's going to be made up with your employee's super guarantee. So this is another great way of accumulating wealth for your retirement. It's a flat 30% tax rate, which is a lot less than the marginal tax rate that both of you are at the moment. And if you can keep that bond for 10 years, the income from that and all the growth on that is tax-free. So when Whitley does retire at 55, she'll actually have an income that is tax-free until she can actually access her retirement savings. So what we're planning here is to have a strategy of $1,000 going per month into this investment account, and it's a strategy that's called dollar cost averaging.
What's dollar cost averaging?
So essentially we're using this method to ride the peaks and the troughs of the market as it goes up and down. A good way of saying it, really, as we call this the cows method. So if I gave you $700 and I said, you can go buy some cows. Now at the moment they're $100 each. So you could go out and buy 7 cows straight away. Or you could dollar cost average it. Now, so you just wait until the next month you go, okay, I'm going to go buy a cow. I've got $100 and that's how much I'm going to spend. You buy 1 cow. The next month you go to buy $100 worth of cows. They've actually gone down to $50. You buy 2. The following month you go to buy your $100 worth of cows and they've actually reduced in price again. Gone down to 25. So you get to buy 4 of them. The month after that, you go to buy your cows and they've gone down to $10 a cow. You go, yeehaw, and buy yourself 10 cows. The following month, you go to spend your $100, gone back up to $25, you buy another 4 cows, and then the following month after that, you go buy your cows, they've gone up to $50, you get yourself 2. And in the last month with your last $100, they've gone up to $100, you buy 1 more cow. So essentially you've ridden this wave where it goes like that. So $100 here, $100 here. But in all of this, you've bought 24 cows rather than the 7 that you started off with. And this is the aim of that dollar cost averaging that we're going to be doing for the 50 months. And that's a strategy I said we're going to be looking at doing for you after debt's paid off.
Cool.
Now these are the insurances that Willie has, and this is the reason why we're keeping these, because in the BT Super and Host Plus, we're keeping them because she's actually covered for endometriosis here. This will be an exclusion for these new insurances, and she will not be covered for endometriosis, which is why we've kept these 2 insurances in place. We've actually included trauma insurance as well in case there's an accident or there's cancer, and we've made an allowance for child sickness as well, so that it gives you a lump sum payout to help pay for any medical bills, keep mortgage and bills and expenses all paid for. As you can see here too, that the BT Super for Life, they are a linked policy, and down here for the Host Plus, they are separate policies, the Life and TPD.
Why is it linked to TPD and life insurance?
Linked, it's cheaper policy, and it's an either or. It's one or the other. So if it pays out $300,000 for the total and permanent disability, then that's it for the policy. There won't be any life insurance after that. Okay? So it is a cheaper way of getting up some sort of cover, which is why it's important to have this Host Plus one, which is separate. Now the other important thing for both of you to be aware of is the duty of disclosure with insurance. So it's quite important that it's in the it's all set out in the product disclosure statements, and that you have to. It's your duty to tell everybody everything that you know that could be of really importance to you applying for insurance cover. So that means that you need to let them know that you're a smoker, that what your occupation is, because it's quite a risky one, that you rock climb. These are important risks that the insurers need to know to be able to make an assessment. Whitley needs to let them know about her mother's early diagnosis of osteoporosis and that she has the endometriosis. And obviously, if by the time you do, from the time you take you have your application until the time that you get your actual policy, if there are any changes, then you need to let them know as well. Okay, and that's important because if down the track that they actually found that you hadn't been honest and truthful, and you say that you didn't smoke when you actually did smoke, then they may not pay out when you make a claim, or they may only pay a portion. Okay, and that's not ideal when you've paid all those insurance premiums. Okay. Now, James, let's have a quick look at you. We've got $625 a month going into that baby account. That's over 8 months, and then that will have that $5,000 there, safety net, added with Whitley's $5,000. Now we're also recommending, and this is the important part for you, the loan. It's 25% interest, so we want to get that paid out as quickly as possible, so we can start saving. So we're recommending you put $1,200 a month into this account. It will actually save you $20,000 in total. And instead of paying it over 7 years, you can have it paid off in 2 years and 4 months. And I'm not sure that you're aware, you are actually salary sacrificing at the moment into your Q Super account. It's part of your employment contract with Queensland Police that you automatically put in 5%, and also that your employer matches it with 12.5%. So you've got 17.5% going into of your salary going into Q Super at the moment for your retirement, which is a good start. We're saying that we've had a look at these investment mixes as well. They are in growth phases, which is more than your risk profile, but you did say that you were quite happy to go with a higher riskier profile if that was going to get you to where you want to go faster. I think if you have a look in the statement of advice, we've actually shown that we could put it down to a little bit more safer and more defensive investment mix, but you will not have as much in retirement. And you are a young person with a long investment time frame, so we've got a long time to be able to ride the peaks and the troughs until retirement. So we think that, just give it a go. You'll have a look again in 6 months to make sure that you're comfortable with that. Okay. And next, with insurances, you've got 2 young children. Well, you're about to have 2 young children. This is basically making sure that you've got, if something happens to you, that your children will be provided for in the event of something happening. So here we've got some links as well as before. We've also got separate life insurance and separate total permanent disability. We've kept the Australian Super. I know you said that you wanted to lose it because of the fees, but it is quite cheap with fees. And we'd like you to keep the insurances for the moment, just because it also has this income protection. It's only got a 60-day waiting period, whereas the income protection with Q Super, you've got 180 days of waiting. Although that benefit is till 60, which is really great. And you've only got this 2 years here, but I mean, we can lose this a little bit later down the track, once we've got some savings behind us. Okay. Estate planning, very important as well. You want to make something happens to you, you want to know that your loved ones are cared for. Whitney's got a fairly recent will, but I think she'll need to update it now that situations have changed. Something that you need to be aware of too, because dying intestate without a will, somebody else will be making the decisions of who gets your assets. We want to have a testamentary trust, perhaps have a look at that, but that'll just protect all the assets for your children. And enduring powers of attorney, if something does happen, you want somebody else to be able to pay your bills, access your bank accounts, things like that. Whitley's already got one, but having a backup is a really good idea as well. Advanced care directive, if something does happen to either of you and you need somebody to make decisions on whether you want to be on life support or not, etc., then this is something that's worthwhile having a look at too. Beneficiary nominations on your superannuation funds, also important to look at, because that will decide where your funds from your superannuation go. I think Whitley needs to just update hers. You don't have any at the moment, so we need to get you something on there. Guardianship. Now, guardianship, something else we can work out with the lawyers is who looks after your children if something happens to you. That's essentially what that's about. And lastly, the cohabitation agreement. And that's something that was quite important to Whitley. And for yourself, it's basically listing your assets and what you're agreeing to when you're going to, as you're living together. And that's basically just to protect yourselves. So you can walk away with what's yours is yours and what's hers is hers. Okay? These are all not something that we can do. We're going to recommend that you go see our legal hub. We've got some great solicitors if you don't already have some. And you can see those guys are making it otherwise it all go. Alright? Now, next steps, our fees and terms of engagement, and we charge a flat fee of $2,000 for each semi-annual review, which is a total of $4,000 for the year. And we also let you know that we do receive some commissions on those new insurances that we've recommended. I do have an authority here for you to proceed, so if I could just get you to sign that.
Yep.
And then authorise payments from your superannuation funds. If you are going to be taking some payment from your super and some from your bank accounts. Okay? Have you got any other questions or anything like that?
No, that was very good.
All right, lovely. Take that away with you and let Whitley have a look at it, and we'll see her next week and we can run through it with her. So, all right, thank you.